Hello, everybody. I am in Opatia, Croatia at the moment. I'm your host, Simone Milasas. Welcome to Choice, Change, and Action podcast. So, you have a podcast today that is just with me. It's about a universe of possibilities. And I would really like you all to know that you have a universe of possibilities available to you because we do. Oh, my goodness, we do. So, welcome. I hope you enjoy it. There's a few tools in there, a couple of processes, etc. But most of all, I would like you to have more of you today. More of you today than you were willing to have yesterday. And again, I would like to ask of you, if you would like, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to Spotify, share this podcast around. I do this in the hopes that we can be such a contribution to the world with these podcasts and with these tools. So, again, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I am truly, truly honored and extremely grateful. Thank you. Enjoy. Welcome to the Choice, Change, and Action podcast, where you get to choose, change, and take action to create a different today and a different future. Hi, everybody. So, I'm here, Simone Milasas, and let's see where this podcast goes. I was meant to be doing a podcast with Daria Hansen, who is in Russia. She's an Access Consciousness certified facilitator. We have been going to do this podcast, I think, about 4 or 5 times, and contributions to her sweet, amazing body. She's just chipped her tooth, and she had to go to a dentist, and blah blah blah. But here's the thing: she's in Russia. I'm heading off to Russia soon, and I wanted to talk to her about Russia. I wanted to talk to her about different elements of it because at the moment, if I say Russia, boom, what do you think of? We all have this point of view. If I say Australian, what do you think of? I'll never forget this guy in Germany that I was dating many, 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 many years ago, and he was from Berlin. And he said to me, "It's easy for you." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "You're Australian." And I was like, "Okay, what do you mean by that?" And he said, "When people think of Australia, what do they think of?" I went, "Oh, they think of koalas and kangaroos." Yeah, there's more. There's way more than koalas and kangaroos. But that is a very common thing. When you think of Germany and you think of Berlin, what do you think of? A lot of people would refer to Hitler. And it's taken a long time, to get over this. And he was saying, I wasn't even born then. And I still get, as he traveled around the world, that was still something that was projected upon him. So I'm looking at the same thing with Russia, okay? And I wanted to talk to Daria, and we will. I'll get her on the podcast, but I just was in the mood to do a podcast right now. So I thought I'd talk to you about some different elements that I sort of want to touch on here. Let's see how this goes, as I said. Um, I was looking at different things that Russia's creating that is really cool with how they are creating with the land. And for me, that's very close to me. I am gaining more and more awareness about the earth, the land. I know I'm in communion with the earth, and I would like you all right now to acknowledge that you are in communion with the earth. If you've been listening to my podcast or any of my classes or anything, you may have heard me refer to, we are a part of this ecosystem. We are not just watching it and observing it. We are a part of this ecosystem. Let me just say that again. We are a part of this ecosystem. So, what part are you playing with this? And I don't want to make this significant, as in like, okay, today you have to do this, and even to be honest, it doesn't even matter what you did yesterday. What are you choosing today? That's what I look at. What are you choosing today? Okay, because I've definitely fucked up and done some crazy ass things, and not being kind to myself, probably most of all, over the years of different judgments of different places I function from. But here I am today, and I am the happiest I've ever been. I am the most relaxed I've ever been. I am at the most peace that I've ever been. And I probably have the most turmoil and havoc and chaotic energies going on around me in various ways as well. Apparently, the more successful you get and the more that you choose, that's what seems to show up in some way. But here's the thing: what are you going to choose with it? So, one of the things I've been looking at is I've been referring a lot to creating a bigger world, having a bigger world. What is the world that you would like to have? Recently, I was in Italy and did some awesome classes and chatting to Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, and Dr. Dane here. And we've mentioned this so many times, but when you talk about something, all of a sudden it just goes whoop, and it starts popping. Was the universe. There is a universe of possibilities available, like a universe of possibilities, not just a world of possibilities. So even if you look at that right now, and you can put your attention on your life, your family, your relationship, your money, business, like I'm naming the things that are very common for us to have a look at. You could have something completely different. Okay. And I want you to put your attention on it and look at the question when you say, what world of possibilities is available? Bigger than most, hey? Now I want you to ask, what universe of possibilities is available? And notice how it goes, it sort of goes bigger. It goes bigger and greater. And there's no, for me, when I ask that, there's no end, like there's no edge to it. It just keeps going and going and going, which is interesting because something I've started doing is, watching. There's a show called How the Universe Works. Unfortunately, if anyone can tell me how I can watch it in Australia, I'd be very grateful. I don't seem to be able to do that. I can only watch it through somebody who has US connections. I know VPN. I've got to learn how to do that. Um, how the universe works. And I was watching some of this on um, black holes. And it's amazing what science says the black holes are. And as you watch it, if you're functioning from this space of awareness, you can hear the lies and you can hear the truths. And then I was like, well, what else is possible? What is beyond that? And for me, there is this magic, these miracles that are available beyond that we have not even accessed. So, what if, as you are asking for something to show up, as you are asking for even more joy, more ease, it could be more money, it could be, a greater business, it could be, a better relationship, it could be basically better than what you have today. Like, let's ask for more. You are allowed to ask for more. You don't have to get permission from me. You're just allowed to ask for more. Okay. Um, what if, as you're asking that, it's like you tap into this energy of the entirety of the universe, the entirety of the universe. And one of the things that I will quite often play with is the quantum entanglements. Okay. And I started looking up entanglements here. And I've just got this thing I'm going to read here. It's it's the Science Exchange, and they're talking about like what is entanglement and why is it important. And I just thought this was interesting to have a look at because it says entanglement is at the heart of quantum physics and future quantum technologies. Like other aspects of quantum science, the phenomenon of entanglement reveals itself at very tiny subatomic scales. When two particles, such as a pair of photons or electrons, become entangled, they remain connected even when separated by vast distances. I think that's wild. And if you look at all of the different people that you've interacted with, the different, you know, places on the earth that you've interacted with, how much do you become entangled with people, with the land, with oceans, with mountains, with everything? Because you have this interaction with them and then you become connected even through vast distances, no matter what. We try and break up with someone, break up a relationship, you're still connected. And if you actually acknowledge that you're still connected, it's going to create a lot more ease. It doesn't mean you have to see them, doesn't mean you have to phone them. You could. I mean, I'm always intrigued by people who are in a relationship and then all of a sudden they have to hate each other. What if you didn't? And that's a whole other topic, a whole other podcast. But you are so connected. And it says, in the same way that a ballet or a tango emerges from individual dancers, entanglement arises from the connection between particles. I love that energy and how they say that. Because with a ballet or a tango, each individual is moving, dancing on their own, but yet together what it creates, what this quantum entanglement creates, is something even greater. So I really, really liked that definition that they had there. And what I was going to talk to you about too is asking from this universe of possibilities, right? And asking for the quantum entanglements to support you. Like the consciousness of the universe wants to contribute to you. It really does. It desires to contribute to you. There's this movie called Auntie Mame. It's a very old movie. We'll put it in the show notes, so don't forget to subscribe. And Auntie Mame she's amazing. She doesn't have any kids, but she ends up with, a niece or a nephew. I think it's a nephew. And she's talking at one stage and says, life is a banquet, a banquet, like a buffet. Okay. Life is a banquet, and some people are starving to death. Like, there is so much that is possible. There is so much available for you. And right now, if you go, oh yeah, but Simone doesn't know my story, I don't give a shit about your story. Like I said before, I don't care what you chose yesterday. What are you choosing today? What action are you taking today? And what choice are you making today that will allow you to have a different and a greater future? So, like I said, consciousness desires to contribute to you. The consciousness of the universe desires to contribute to you. You know why? Because you're willing to contribute to the consciousness of the universe as well. When you have this desire to contribute to the consciousness of the universe, it will contribute back to you. And like at least 20, 30 times more. Have you ever noticed those days where you're asking for something and you have this lightness in your world? Okay. So for me, when you have this lightness in your world, what are you engaging with? You're engaging with those quantum entanglements of ease, of joy, of relaxation, of happy. Like, notice when you walk in a room and if there's a bunch of people there, what's the mood like? You walk into a room and everybody's laughing and happy and joyful. You tend to go, ah, and you have this lightness in your world. Okay. And if you walk into a room and maybe there's people fighting or there's like, sadness or frustration or something, you tend to sort of buy into that as well. And that's also the way quantum entanglements work. It's like they will get entangled with what is going on. So you are an infinite being and you have the power and potency to actually walk into a room and change the energy. Have you ever noticed that? Like, maybe you're in a restaurant, you've got a grumpy waiter or waitress or something like that, and how you be with them changes the energy. That's quantum entanglements. That's the contribution that you can be to the entirety of the universe and the contribution that you can be to more consciousness here on the planet. So what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose more of that? I know I am. So quantum entanglements are like this. Quantum entanglements are the place where you function from question, choice, possibility, and contribution. Okay. So with question, choice, possibility, and contribution as these elements that are, I guess, like a formless creation where you can ask for and create anything you desire, right? You can really ask for and create anything you desire. Like I said before, have you ever noticed those moments where just stuff starts to show up? Like, you ask for something and you're like, oh, I asked for that yesterday. Please acknowledge that. As you acknowledge that, because the quantum entanglements in the universe is going, what'd you ask for? Okay, cool. Here you go. Can I give this to you? Boom, right? And as you keep asking and you keep receiving has so much to do with this, guys. So please start receiving more, even if you ask daily. What can I receive today that I wasn't willing to receive yesterday? What possibilities, what universe of possibilities is available to me today that I can receive today, right? Whatever questions you come up with, any question you come up with is great, and just start asking to receive more. And we're not taught to receive, we're taught to have an answer, we're taught to conclude, we're taught to look for a result, we're taught to judge, actually. From a really young age, probably 6, 7, we're taught to judge. Like, what age did you start judging rather than creating, rather than receiving, rather than having that joy that you had even as a little child? So Everything at that is and everything at that order, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. And that, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, probably, is the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. So acknowledge when the magic shows up and ask what else you can contribute to the consciousness of the universe, and ask the universe to contribute to you. Okay. So you have to work with the universe so that you have, like, using these questions, having choice. These possibilities will show up, and then you can contribute. You can receive contribution and you can gift as well. And as you do this and as you choose this, you open up to the infinite possibilities, right? You open up to the infinite possibilities that you are aware of, that other people may not be aware of. And that is a really key element here, guys. Just because somebody else is not aware of it doesn't mean you're not. I did this interview yesterday, and I love it when people interview me, because you just go in these most random, chaos places. And one of the things that she was asking me was sort of something I could recall that I started choosing at a younger age. And I know this might sound odd if you know me, because I'm not short of a word. But one thing I did learn, I guess, in my early 20s, was to shut the fuck up sometimes. Sometimes. Because I would have these ideas, and I would have this awareness of what I wanted to create in the world. And I noticed as I started talking about it, people would look at me with this look like, all right, she's gone nuts. Where's the person coming in the white straitjacket to come and get her? Or there was no encouragement. And whenever I got that energy of no encouragement, I realized I was A, looking for encouragement, I was looking for validation, and B, whoever I was talking to wasn't getting it. And I was like, okay. So I was smart enough at that time to just shut up, because I realized I couldn't talk about what I was actually aware of. How many of you are trying to tell the world? I might even be doing that in this podcast, but you know what? If you're listening to it and you've reached this far, I think you can actually hear it. And how many of you are trying to get out there your ideas and what you are aware of, rather than just acting upon it and choosing it? We are all these amazing, amazing, different, various, beings on this planet. And you are an infinite being. And you, as an infinite being, you have the capacity to perceive, know, be, and receive everything, right? So if you think of this as, like, every single cell in your body is different, okay? Some of them have, similar jobs, the same job or something like that, but they're all different. And they're all functioning at this different rate, and they're choosing different things. Your body is literally changing every nanosecond. Well, so are you. And if you look at that we are all these different cells. And with the quantum entanglements, how we interact and engage with each other, and how we'll pick up on other people's thoughts and feelings and emotions. And then we think we're depressed, but we're not actually depressed. It's like it's you're picking up on that energy, and then you go, oh, that's my depression, because you want to claim everything is yours, but hey, it's not. Sorry, it's not. Okay. So you're not as fucked up as you think you are, basically. So, but there's all this different, movement going on, and this entanglement going on. If you're truly being the greatness of you, what contribution can you be to more consciousness here on the planet? What contribution can you be to the universe of possibilities? Not just a world of possibilities, a universe of possibilities. Because what I've noticed too is, when you look at the world of possibilities and you function from a greater world, as I said before, it's got this energy for me that it's like, that test that they did years ago on jumping fleas in a glass box, and as the fleas jumped, they had a glass lid on it. They would jump. That's as high as they could go, because they could just go to that the lid. They'd hit the lid and boom, back down. Then they took that glass ceiling off, and the fleas would still jump that high, even though there was no ceiling, there was no lid. They would only still jump that high. So how many of you are doing that thing of like a flea in a glass box, which is the world. And you can only jump that high. You can only go as good as what somebody else has done before. What if you were being all of you and you outcreated everything? And you outcreated everything and you just exploded above and beyond this world into a universe of possibilities. Everything that doesn't allow you to acknowledge that and choose that, where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, hook and pot, all nine shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. We have, I think it's on my YouTube channel. If not, my fabulous team of people will get to work now. I did this class during Global Foundation in Prague, and it spoke, I spoke a lot about how I would like to see what's occurring in the world in regards to business. One really small but very potent element that I spoke about was please start being you, being true to you. Because if you're being you and being true to you and you're choosing what works for you, that's going to be the contribution that the universe is actually asking for. That's going to be the contribution that will explode into a universe of possibilities. Not trying to be somebody else, not trying to, even put somebody else down. It's like not trying to fit in, not trying to conclude. And notice I'm using the word trying a lot because every single time you go to conclude or you go to try something, it doesn't work because it's not you. But if you're being true to you, and you're choosing a business from that, you're choosing your capacities from that, and you're acknowledging that, and you're not looking for validation. Ooh, what universe of possibilities could we be opening up to? So I'm going to run a couple of clearings here that I was writing down today. And if you want, you can just put these clearings on a loop and just play them. You don't even need to know like all of it, what it means. But if you desire, you can go to theclearingstatement.com and find out more about the clearing statement. So what, even if you can, if you're driving, don't, you can shut your eyes, and just listen to this, okay? So what energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, possibilities, power, potency, and profitability can we be to create money and business as the universe does? And everything at that is time to go selling, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, cock and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. And then there was this excerpt from Dr. Dane here. We did this 7-day event in Langkawi in Malaysia many years ago, and it was called Wizards Arise. Now, I love this because somebody sent this the other day to me, and it was notes from this class. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the word wizard and I'm going to put the word universe in there. I want you to listen to this, okay? So it says wizard, but I'm changing it to the universe. So, and this is if you're functioning from a universe of possibilities. A universe never has to fight. A universe has no family. A universe can say anything. A universe chooses with gusto. A universe always knows their point of view. A universe only delivers what works for them. A universe doesn't do normal. A universe has impeccable sense of timing. A universe always tells what can be heard. A universe is always smart, not stupid. A universe does not do linearity. A universe laughs at everything. A universe never judges their choices. A universe is always smart, not stupid. That's in there twice, that's funny. A universe never tells what they are doing. A universe is always an interesting point of view. A universe never tells the truth unless it will create more. A universe trusts themselves and their awareness totally. A universe is willing to do whatever it takes to create more. A universe is willing to be seen. It doesn't need to be seen. A universe doesn't have to make anything right or wrong. A universe is willing to change the course of any relationship and to create any future. A universe bees the space that changes other people's realities to greater possibilities. The universe knows that ask and you will receive actually works. A universe is willing to have an awareness of 10,000 years into the future. A universe takes every chance to expand their awareness, their allowance, etc. A universe functions from the question, what are the infinite possibilities? A universe doesn't have a home to go back to. The universe moves forward to a place to live and to be. A universe melts the walls of limitation into possibilities. A universe knows that the result that keeps showing up is the desire that they wish to create. So I love that. I thought that was really cool. And if you just change the energy of that to universe, and I wanted to share that with you all. So thanks for being here. Like, really, thank you for being here. It's I have done a lot of these podcasts, and I've had a lot of really amazing people on here and spoken about a lot of amazing tools. I essentially do make 99% of my podcasts are something to do with access consciousness, because that's what I work with. I have not found anything greater than the tools of access consciousness so far. And the thing about access consciousness is it's not about giving yourself up for access at all. It's about trusting you. It's like, for me, every tool of access empowers me to be more of me. There's not the rules, the regulations. It's about me choosing for me all the time, and it changes all the time. So if you would like to find out more about access consciousness too, please let us know. There are so many different things going on, classes, etc. There's classes that have no prerequisites, like the relationship done different, business done different, in different topics and things like that. But there's also, I would highly recommend going to a bars class. And the bars class is where you start off and you have, there's 32 different points on your head, and someone lightly touches your head and starts to erase all these different, areas to do with money, control, sexuality, form and structure, healing, hopes and dreams, sadness, joy, like many different areas. And then there's a foundation class, and then there's other classes you can do after that as well. But again, do what works for you. Like, if it pings for you, check it out. For me, I know that I was definitely look. I looked like I had a really good life on the outside, and that energy of, like, you're supposed to be happy, and I wasn't really, because I was seeking something different. So when I came across access consciousness, I was just like, oh my goodness, this is everything that I was asking for. And it just keeps getting better and better and greater and greater. So whatever you are choosing out there in the world, that's it. You don't need to go into an access class at all. Whatever you are choosing out there in the world, if you're truly happy and you're being you, how does it get any better than this? Like, I am grateful for you being here on the planet. I'm grateful for you being here with me on this podcast, and thank you for you. So that's it for me today. I will see you next time. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed this podcast, please make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button on your favorite listening platform to get notified of new episodes. We read all the reviews, so if there's any topic you would like to hear about, let us know. If you'd like to know more about the tools, information, and classes mentioned in the podcast, head on over to SimoneMilasas.com and follow me on Instagram at Simone Milasas, or the podcast has its very own link on Instagram at Choice, Change, and Action. Don't forget, you can download the show notes, and lastly, have way too much fun today.